In my case, when I first started alopecia treatment, especially on the crown area, I used the RegeneraM+. Hello, this is very special day. I invited a experienced dermatologist from Singapore. He already had he already got really a good results from various kinds of procedures, from skin, alopecia, and body contouring surgeries, and anti-aging procedures. Why don't you give a greeting to our Korean or...
안녕하세요. I am Dr. Donald Ng from Singapore, and I have been visiting and learning from Dr. Park for more than 15 years. He is my very good friend in Korea. Thank you.
He's not my friend. He's my student. Okay. Anyway, now I want to share our ideas and our results of alopecia treatment, especially using the hair follicular stem cells and some growth factors, or sometimes adipose-derived stem cells. In my case, when I first started alopecia treatment, especially on the crown area, I used the RegeneraM+, which gives us some progenitor cells and mixed with stem cells. At the beginning, I could not get the good result, but with time, I modified it, mixed with my own cocktail therapy. And nowadays, over 95% in 3 months get a really significant result. How about your result? And I want to share your...
My experience with hair is I've been doing hair transplant for the last 12 years. I am board with American Board of Hair Restoration. So I only do hair transplant mainly. And so when I saw Dr. Park's results, I'm very impressed, because when we do hair transplant, we have some limitations with regards to what patients and what kind of treatment we can do. But his result is able to give better results than on those patients that we cannot get good results when we do hair transplant alone. So I'm very impressed.
Especially on crowning area. As you see my result, about a couple of years ago, my crown was somewhat almost near to bald. It may be mainly by genetic factors influenced by the dihydrotestosterone, which invade the hair follicles. After that, miniaturization eventually occurs. That was my crown. But now, look at my crown, almost full of regrow hair. Yeah, and usually hair follicular stem cells by Regenera gave us the a kind of action of a trigger effect for the miniaturized hair for regrowing. Yeah. Do you agree with me?
Yes, definitely.
Definitely.
Yes.
However, in my case, or from my experience, I had to shorten the time from late catagen to early anagen. By doing so, patients realize, there is much improvement in 6 weeks or in 8 weeks, in 2 months. That is the biggest difference. Do you think so?
Yes. So when we do hair transplant, it takes a long time for the hair to grow, at least 3 months to 6 months.
6 months, right.
And when we do hair transplant on areas where there is still fine hair, there will be a phenomenon called shock loss. And so the patients will have much less hair in the first 6 months. So when we use his technique, we don't have to go through that process. So it's very suitable for patients who have thin hair or sparse hair at the crown area, and that it can be much faster to get the results that you're looking for.
How's the experience about the female pattern alopecia?
Female pattern alopecia is the most challenging for us, because a lot of times it is at the crown area and there is still fine hair around. So whenever we do hair transplant, we have to warn the patient that the phenomenon of shock loss will be very real to them for 6 months at least. So they will have to be mentally prepared. But if we handle what he has been doing, something different, less traumatic, and don't have to go through that 6 months of struggling, the patients will be so much happier.
Usually, he mentioned the 6 months, but in my cases, usually only till 6 months, there can be shedding. Theoretically, the late keratin hairs from female can be shed very, very easily because they have to the anagen. Yeah. After that, usually around 6 weeks, after that, the shedding stops, and then they can realize there is much growing of very fine hairs as well as stronger and thicker and darker hairs as well. Because of it, female patients are too much satisfied with the result in my clinic. So nowadays I'm focusing on the female pattern alopecia. Originally, the company emphasized that it is useless for or a little useful for female pattern alopecia, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have some other opinions or some other questions that we want to share? No? Okay. Thank you very much. This can be a very innovative technique. For me, I'm so proud of my technique. Somewhat different to the pre-existing Regenera Activa technique. I modified it and named it to RegeneraM+, mixed combined by my hair on cocktail. So conclusively, foreigners, females can challenge hair regrowth in my clinic. I'm so sure. Anyway, thank you very much.